Good afternoon. Lorraine here, and we're at Wellness Gathering, taking ownership of our well-being through with the principles of the core alignment and creating clarity and connections. And we'll have Lynne to facilitate us again for another afternoon of conversation. Lynne.
Awesome. Yay. What else is possible? Yes. So today we are going to be moving towards more acceptance and looking at acceptance in our conversations as we, take more ownership for our health and our wellness and continue with this creating more clarity and connection in our lives with whatever is turning us on and keeping us going and helping us to contribute. So my name is Lynne, and I am in Calgary, Alberta. And the question for today is, what is something you are aware of right now? And something I am aware of right now is, well, I'm really aware of my space around me, and I gifted myself a nice session, a cranial sacral session. So my head and shoulders feel really much more spacious than they did yesterday or this morning. So that's what I'm aware of right now, is just sort of the space around me, and that I feel quite a bit lighter in my neck and shoulders. Olive?
My name's Olive. I'm in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. I'm aware that it's May 1st, sun is shining, and we finally have nice weather.
Yay, awesome. Madeline?
I'm Madeline. I'm in Calgary, Alberta. And what I am aware of right now is the gentle breeze coming in through the window. I have the window wide open, and it's a lovely breeze, and I'm enjoying this temperature a lot and the sunshine.
Awesome. Dawn Marie?
I'm Dawn Marie, and I am from Sacramento, California. And what I'm aware of today is I decided that I would prepare my dinner early. So the aroma is all through my home right now. So I am taking it all in.
Nice. Yum. See if we can smell it through the ethers. Yeah. Lorraine?
I'm Lorraine. I'm in Osoyoos, British Columbia, and what I'm aware of right now is the maintenance fellow cutting the hedges next to our site here. So if it's a little noisy, that's what it is. It's the buzz of the chainsaws trimming the hedges. Anyway, I'll keep muting myself so it doesn't interfere with our afternoon.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, we are on conversation number 5 as we move through this 10 weeks of creating more clarity and connection, and we're going to be looking at the concept of moving towards acceptance and having acceptance in our lives, and what it means to have an acceptance, and then also looking at our awareness and how we trust our awareness. So what do you think of when you think of trusting your awareness? Lorraine?
What do I think of when to trust my awareness?
Yeah.
Well, I think I trust my awareness. I never really thought of that. How to trust your awareness. Well, that's a good question. I think because I trust it because it's just something you go with the flow of your awareness of what's going on. Just being in the moment. I guess that would be part of the trust. Yeah, that's very interesting slat to think about.
Yeah. Well, we all, we have our awareness, and it's like, how do we cultivate it? So how about you, Dawn Marie, when you think of trusting your own awareness or what you're aware of, what comes up for you?
Well, I was leaving my exercise class today, and my key did not unlock my car. And it brought to my attention that I've been so fortunate. I was rear-ended 2 years ago, 2020, and my car was deemed salvaged. But the only thing was the fender was bent. Everything else ran perfectly. So for the past 2 years, I've been driving that car and no car payment and just feeling so light and free. But today, when the key didn't work to unlock the door, I had an awareness that I better start looking for another vehicle because I do not want to be somewhere and not be able to, get into my vehicle. So I need to go out and start test driving some vehicles.
Nice. Yeah.
That's
So how
my
about you?
awareness.
Yeah. Great. Madeline?
What I think of when I am questioned about trusting my awareness, I think about how others see things and how I see things, and sometimes it's really different. It can be extremely, you can take a whole different view of something, and I guess that's where acceptance comes in, or you have some kind of reaction to it, but the awareness is, for me, there's so many different ways of looking at something that I'm just always questioning, how others see things. I see them one way, but how do other people see them?
Awesome. Yeah. Hi, Janet. Welcome.
Hi, ladies. Sorry for my
Yes.
voices.
Yeah. So our question for today is, what is something you are aware of right now? So introduce yourself and tell us where you
Hi.
are. And
Hi, it's Janet in Calgary. And what I'm aware of right now is a lot of anxiety in me, and I find that puzzling.
got it.
Mhm.
Well, welcome, and I'm glad you're here.
Thank
So
you.
we were we're talking about moving towards more acceptance, and we're talking about our awareness and having acceptance. And the question we were pondering was trusting our awareness and how that might be for you, and what that means to you to trust your awareness.
All right.
Yeah.
You need me to go now?
Sure. Yeah.
I don't have
No
a lot.
pressure.
Trust my awareness. I'm really reaching right now for some awareness. Slowing down.
Awesome. Awesome. Olive?
When I think of trusting my awareness, I think of the aging process and knowing when it's time to stop driving. I gathered with ladies who are about 10 years older than I am, so late 70s, edging into 80s. And one of them has given up her driver's license voluntarily. And the others, we discussed, when do you do that? And unless your doctor tells you straight out you can't drive because of one condition or another, I think it has to be a personal awareness that maybe I shouldn't be driving anymore because my reaction time is just not what it used to be. That's what came to mind for me.
Yeah, yeah. So that the whole aging process and having the awareness of choices, then when to maybe let go of some things, eh? When's the right time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. When I think of trusting my awareness, it's like it's a moment. It can be a moment to moment thing. And sometimes I think there's that in the flow. I can be in the flow. And then there's times where I have the opportunity to just really trust myself, like the key of the car. It's like, okay, you know what? Maybe this is the time to do something and look for a new car, or maybe this is the time to let go of my license, or how did I want that to look? So with looking at acceptance and how acceptance plays into some of these things, what value do you think? Well, let's look at a time that we were in acceptance and maybe share some of that. So share with me or us a time that you were in acceptance. Lorraine?
Well, after you mentioned you're giving up your driver's license, or at what age? I'm at that stage now in British Columbia at the age of 85. You have to take a medical to prove that you're capable of driving. And I haven't driven a car because I've got a chauffeur since 2011. So I am volunteering to give up my license this year. And if I need somebody to drive me, I'll hire a chauffeur. Anyway, so the question is the acceptance, and I'd like to make that choice. I'm being accepting the fact that this is the stage in my life that I'm going to have to make a decision on this, and I'm looking at my past driving history. I'm not driving, so anyway, I think I like that feeling of acceptance too, because I accept my body as it is at the moment, and I'm doing the best I can with it. So I think acceptance is a big key of making my life more comfortable in what I'm dealing with at this stage in my life.
Awesome. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Madeline?
Sorry, just say the
Well, with
question again.
acceptance, yeah, like looking
being-
at acceptance, the value of acceptance, and
well, I'm very
a time maybe you
yeah.
had acceptance.
I am a very firm believer in not pushing against things that, it's that up going upstream or going downstream, if you have to paddle so hard. I think the idea of acceptance is that you turn around and just go with that waterway, as it were. And that I think that's where the trust and the faith comes in, that it's the right way, no matter what you think is the right way. So I think that, obviously that's a big picture thing, and it's not every moment of every day, but it's definitely an attitude of, well, maybe I don't have all the answers. Maybe I just have to leave it up to, the powers that be making it the right thing for me.
Yeah.
I don't have a specific, I'm sorry.
No, that's good. That goes along with everything. It's no right or wrong. How would you, Dawn Marie?
What I am accepting of is the fact that I am going to have to eventually get another car. I had told myself I was going to try and wait it out until the end of 2023, but I'm feeling like, I need to accept the fact that I can't go forever without having a car payment. I'm going to have to bite the bullet and invest in that vehicle to get me from point A to point B from here on. So I'm coming to terms with that and accepting that I'm going to do that at some point this year.
It's interesting with the acceptance of how it's all showing up in our lives here in different ways. How about you, Janet?
This is a tough one. It brought up something really, really big, and I'm going to ask permission not to actually share it at this point in time, but maybe Lynn, you and I can at another time. I think it's a bigger piece of a lot of things. It just, I just can't go into it right now. But what came up after that, I don't have a lot of acceptance right now in my world. But what came up as a period of time when there was acceptance beyond the big one, was when I got refused for further acceptance into a career path that I wanted to take years ago. And, I was when I was turned down after sort of going through a couple hierarchies, I was okay with it. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, it's acceptance is one of those things. And I remember Kate telling this story. She said, often with acceptance, it's like a letter can come in the mail and you can place it on the mantle, but whether I decide to open that letter or not are two different. So accepting really, I can receive something, but I also have a choice to open it and see what's in it. And so acceptance can come in many flavors, right? There can be times when I'm in acceptance. There can be times when I'm not in acceptance. And then there's flow through it. Like Madeline was saying, sometimes it's like I'm not in acceptance and I'm kind of going downstream backwards, paddling upstream. Or sometimes I'm turn the boat around and I'm flowing down the stream a little bit easier. So acceptance is kind of like that. And we have the ability to, move towards more acceptance, because there are times in life when I don't have as much acceptance and things are a little bit more difficult. And sometimes it's nice to kind of look at times, like if you were to look at a time in your life where you didn't have acceptance, what difference would it make to add acceptance now? So, Madeline, you want to share something? A time where you might not have had acceptance, but what difference would it make to add acceptance now?
A time that I didn't have acceptance, but if I had added acceptance, I think the idea of moving from my like from the house that we had bought and the kids were born in, like grew up in, I think when we decided we would sell it, we cleaned it all up and we, did fresh paint to be able to get a better market to value. And the whole time I was going, God, this is like a better house now than it was, like it hurt so much to have put all that time and energy and effort into it. And knowing that we were putting it up for sale. Well, we were putting it up for sale for very good reasons. So I think if I had just accepted it first and not gone through that whole trial of that effort, being PO'd about it, it would have gone so much smoother. But it ended up working out. It was just, I put myself through that angst and I didn't need to really. That's what I can think of right off the top of my head.
Yeah. How about you, Lorraine?
Yeah, I'm trying to think back of the time that I didn't accept things and added acceptance. I think it goes back to a relationship with one of my brothers, one that's 2 years younger than me. And when we were growing up, we were always sparring and at loggerheads, and I really didn't like him, and he would be snidey remarks to me and things like that. But I have since then become quite friendly with him, and we have quite good conversations. So we just avoid the conversations that we had in the past. We just stick to the present. So I've accepted him, and the relationship is running much more smoother. And it was just the childhood sibling rivalry, and I always figured that he had a mean streak to him anyway. But I've accepted him, and we talk, and in fact, he's coming to visit me nearing the end of May with his new wife, and so it's all working out.
Wow. Well, cool. How about you, Olive?
My focus seems to be on driving and traffic today. Something that I didn't accept for several weeks was the fact that one of our bridges, one of my main access from my east side of the city to the west side of the city is being repaired. It's a necessary repair, but it's going to take 9 months. So that has necessitated narrowing traffic to one side of the bridge for the first portion of time. And I wouldn't take that bridge for weeks because it was a zipper merge and was complicated and traffic was backed up. I would go like 10 miles out of my way to get across to the other side of town. And now I've just accepted that that's the way it is. And I've learned how to zipper merge and life goes on.
Yeah, that's a good example. How about you, Janet?
I'm having a tough time with this one today. I really don't have an answer. I
Yeah,
mean,
well,
I
the
could,
first,
yeah.
when you were speaking before, you kind of shared a little bit of a similar concept in the sense that you didn't have much.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna say I have acceptance and accepting there's a huge block in me right now that I need to reveal and uncover. And this is just not the place and time because it's going to warrant more than 30 seconds. And so I'm going to say I have acceptance in knowing that that needs to take place and a lot of gratitude that it's actually come up today. And thank you.
Mhm. Thank you. Yeah. Dawn Marie?
So a time when I didn't have acceptance, I guess, would be for my health. About 3 years ago, I started to experience some health challenges that kind of alarmed me that it was brewing on the inside of me, and I didn't feel anything, and the doctor didn't know anything about it. But I was in a car accident, and luckily for that car accident, I had to have an MRI, and the MRI then detected that there was an issue going on with my kidneys. And so I realized that, I have to really take ownership of my health, and I have to be an advocate for being on top of what I feel I need from my body, which is why part of the reason why I became a part of Nikan, because I liked what they represented as far as natural kind of products. And so once I did that, it totally opened up my awareness to eating better, to drinking more water, to making sure that I get enough rest, and just really, if I don't take care of me, no one else will. So being aware that I have to really take ownership of that and accept where I am with it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. It's interesting just how awareness and acceptance just go sort of hand in hand together. And this conversation really looks at both of them. And there are times when, yeah, I'm not in acceptance. And then what's my awareness? And then there's times where I am in acceptance and what am I aware of? So I guess look for times, in your next week, we're creating more awareness around moving towards the position of acceptance in whatever way or form. Look for times that is occurring and just how those two things work together moment to moment in all areas of life. And yeah, it's trusting our instincts, trusting our awareness, trusting the things that are happening, and listening a little deeper, and knowing that we're all in it together here. So what will you take with you from this conversation that will support you until we talk again, Olive?
I think I'll take the knowledge that fighting inevitable change doesn't benefit me or anybody around me. Sometimes you have to accept what's happening as the progress of time and people.
Mm. Awesome. Janet?
what I'll take away until we meet again is looking into what I need to do to find acceptance. You know, where do you find that? Where does it come from? What does it look like? What does it taste like? What does it feel like?
Dawn Marie?
What I will take away from today is the fact that acceptance is huge, but for me, it's becoming mindful of the fact that I have the right to accept what it is I need to accept, whether I want to change it, whether I want to get a new car, whether I want to, allow someone into my space, whatever that is, I have to be accepting of that, and to have that awareness that it could be a very positive experience if you just accept it and go with it, instead of trying to deal with all the chatter in your head and trying to, should I, could I, would I, just accept where I'm at today and go with it and pay attention to the signs.
Awesome. Madeline?
What I will take with me that will support me until we talk again, the idea of acceptance. It is huge. It is really, really huge. And I think it goes both ways, right? To accept what I stand behind or what I think or what I feel, but also accept how others deal with their lives and just be, that willingness to accept where other people are at too. I think that's really important.
Lorraine?
Yeah, I liked Olive's analogy about the zipper. I thought to myself, boy, that's accepting. You're accepting things like a zipper of traffic. And when you're paddling upstream and downstream and all that too. There's so much analogy out of this conversation today. So what I'll take away from this conversation for the rest until we meet again is that flow, the zippering, and acceptance is a big part of just breathing and being where you are today with what's before you. And there's always a solution at any given time. So it's that zipper effect.
That's good. Awesome. Yeah, so what I will take away that'll support me is, well, it's really looking at the awareness, the allowance, and the acceptance, and how they all kind of dance together, because I think they all kind of go together at different times. And so what will you take with you that'll support you for the rest of your life, Lorraine?
Well, what I'll take for that will support me for the rest of my life is the awareness of acceptance and just appreciate and show gratitude that it's an easy path to take. And and there's decisions along the way that I have to really think about, but it's not a big deal. It's just just go with the flow, and it's very relaxing feeling.
Madeline?
What I will take with me until we meet again.
For the rest of your life.
For the rest of my life. Thank you. Wherever we are here. Well, I love the idea that it's all a dance. I love that, they do all dance together, and dancing gives me a feeling of lightness and fun. And I think that's, it's that moment where you can choose it. If that's what you want, you can choose it. Sometimes it's harder, obviously, but if the choice is inside you to want it, then there is a moment where you can just choose it.
Dawn Marie?
What I will take away today that will support me for the rest of my life is the simple fact of, gratitude and being grateful and having the opportunity to really ponder the conversation of acceptance and awareness and how to really incorporate that into my daily life. Being more mindful about that.
Mhm. Janet?
What I will take away from this conversation today that will support me for the rest of my life is actually just flipping the switch and going, what if I can be in the question of, in the choice of, yes, I accept this. And how much of that could actually be a change on me physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically, opposed to the non-acceptance. It's just opens up another possibility, another option that maybe I haven't even really contemplated choosing, for whatever reason. So yeah, in short, that I still have a choice. And what ease could that bring? Thanks.
Oliver? Yeah, thank you, Janet.
As we've been talking, the serenity prayer has come to mind. That I need to accept, to change the things that I can change, to accept the things that I can't, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Yeah, that's a beautiful one. Oh my goodness, that makes me want to, I take away a tremendous amount of gratitude and yeah, just how amazing these conversations are. So yeah, so grateful that everyone is showing, that everybody's showing up to share this sacred space of whatever it is, and the miracle of sharing a simple concept.
Okay.
So thank
Well,
you.
thank you very much, Lynn. This has been a terrific therapeutic afternoon, and we'll see you next week then.